Hello, everybody. How you doing tonight? This is Cover for with the guys. How you doing today, Terrance?
I'm doing good. Sorry for the people that didn't get to hear that banger last week. We had a technical issue, but I'm ready for this little remix part 2 here. Get into it with you guys tonight.
Yeah, last week was definitely an episode. Nick, how you feeling, bro?
Same. I feel a little disappointed. We had a really good one, but I'm really happy we're able to bring our boy Ant back on and recover as much as we could from last week's energy and move on to week 6.
All right, Ant, we got the big dog back in the house again with the guys hanging out. How you doing today, man?
Doing good. I'm doing good. How's it going, everybody? I guess the episode didn't come out at all last week, so they don't know anything about me. So I'll introduce myself one more again. My name is Anthony, a.k.a. Tony Playboy, a.k.a. his babysitter, a.k.a. Kendrick Percocet, and a.k.a. Urban Meyer sensitivity trainer. And I'm the host of the Fly Route podcast. You can catch it anywhere you listen to podcasts, and it's on YouTube, everywhere at the Fly Route pod.
Hey, I just want y'all to know when he said that Kendrick Percocet last week.
Boy, I was weak.
We lost it.
Hey, for at least 2 minutes, nobody was saying nothing. We was just laughing because I was like, did he really just say that?
So yeah, funny.
Yeah.
Better ones. That is one of my better ones.
Big shout out. Thanks for stopping by again, Ant, coming through with us. If you want to find the guys, you can find us on Twitter. We're super active on Twitter. It's cover4. So cover and then the number 4 _ with the guys. You'll find us on there. We're always active. We be talking to Ant. We're active with other fans and everything. So let's get it started with the news we got going on this week. I mean, maybe we'll touch on what happened last episode too. Who knows? John Gruden's a dumbass. We already know that though, so we don't have to rehab all that. Myles Garrett had a tombstone of quarterbacks in the front lawn of his house for Halloween. I thought it was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's pretty. It's different, and I'm letting y'all know the Kyler Murray tombstone was smaller than everybody else's tombstone. So Jit is the ultimate troll, and he's hilarious.
That was legendary.
Yeah, how you feel about that?
Yeah, that's a little petty. I like it. You got to take the shots when you gonna take them. Everybody loves talking about Kyler Murray, but I don't think he's too worried because he's on top of the world right now.
That is true, and we got some news out in Duval County. Them boys finally snapped a 40-game losing streak. We already know Urban Meyer is probably getting loose out in London. You know how that goes with Urban. How you feel about that, Nick?
And not to harp on, honestly, if there's anything I'm happy about with losing the episode last week, it's the fact that people don't have to hear more about the John Gruden BS. But if there's any person who is the happiest about that news coming out, it was Urban Meyer because so much heat got taken off of him. And now you get your first win and you get to go out. I mean, he was definitely living it up with that. But honestly, I'm really happy for Trevor Lawrence. There's certain people that, may look like bust potential at this point from that draft class. I don't think Trevor's one of them. He's just not really getting the benefit from a good team. But the fact that they were able to rally, they had a couple close games and finally pull one out. I was really glad for the team.
And you got to look at it, too, because remember, I predicted them to get at least 6 wins. And they're about to pass the early part of their schedule that was easy.
I said 3. Boom.
Yeah, they're not at the part of the schedule where it's going to be easy anymore. Remember, I was like, no, they can snag the early ones because it's going to be relatively easy. So we had some other interesting news coming out. Seattle superstar wideout was getting into it with Hall of Famer Shannon Sharp, and they had an exchange of words. I'm going to list off exactly what they had going on, bro, because I found it insane that this happened. If you don't know, DK Metcalf caught a ball. I think it was right before going into overtime, or was it in overtime? I think it was before
going to overtime, and there was only a couple. They didn't have any timeouts, and only a couple.
There's only like 12 seconds left.
Stepping out, he tried to hero ball it from like the 25.
They were about to. Honestly, they were going to win if he gets out of bounds. But I don't know if he my only excuse I could give him is that he was trying to get more yards to get the kicker in. But the weird thing about it is when you watch
in field goal range stuff.
So. Yeah. So there's no excuse. But the only weird thing I can think, if I'll give him a pass, is maybe he wanted to get some more yards, but he was a dumbass because he turned back in. He could have just bulldozed the safety and carried him out with him. People be forgetting DK Metcalf is a tank. So Shannon Sharp, he commented on that. He said, "What was DK thinking? Why try to play hero ball in that situation?" DK responded, "Stop questioning me, little boy." And then Shannon replied, nothing to question. That was a dumbass play, and your pride won't let you admit it. You can't question anything I've done. Pray your resume will be as complete as mine. Enjoy the rest of your night. DK said something else, and then DK had a come to Jesus moment. He tweeted, I think like 2 hours later, he's like, you know what? You're right. Because guess what? He was right. And he thought he could shit on Shannon Sharpe, and come to find out, Shannon Sharpe is a top 5 tight end of all time with a jacket and 3 rings.
Yeah, it wasn't a come to Jesus moment. Somebody like he knew kind of got to him. It was like, hey, bro, you know what Shannon Sharpe done did?
Yeah, he was like, I messed up.
Yeah.
It was honestly super embarrassing because all I got from it was like he genuinely did not know anything about Shannon Sharpe other than, you know, the show with Skip. Like it was pretty. That was pretty bad. Being a wide receiver in the NFL, not knowing that.
It's weird because what are you about to say, Terrance?
It's just crazy that it took Shannon Sharpe, like, you know, coming out that he really, you know, got that offensive. I feel like people only get that offensive when they know they messed up, and then it's like, you know, that was a dumb play in that moment. Like, get out of bounds. Like, you're not going to get a touchdown. You're not doing anything spectacular for your team at this moment. The best thing you could have did was go out of bounds.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. He is struggling a little bit. He has all the potential in the world. He can, because how big he is, how fast he is. He plays physical. He's just got this weird thing with dropping the ball sometimes. His routes aren't like as great as other people's routes. But the sky is the limit with him. I just don't know why he went there with Shannon Sharpe. Because if y'all don't know, this man, other than that Bronco team he was on, which still kind of ran the ball, that Ravens team he won with Trent Dilfer was a rushing the ball team. And then the defense was just great. And where does Shannon Sharpe stack up on your like tight ends?
Man's top 3, like top 3, top 5. Like a lot of people are going to surpass him just because the game changes. So like we done seen Gronk, who should probably be TE1 all time at this point. Like, yo, who else?
I don't know. Tony Gonzalez.
I saw Nick's face, like.
Because but I think Tony Gonzalez comes from like a similar era too, where if he played in this era, like and I know he played more than Shannon did.
But Tony played on teams that was throwing that bitch, so that's what people forget.
He played with Priest Holmes, bro, when they were rolling it out, and the only team he really played for that really aired it out was the Falcons when he was like 35 years old.
Bro, them Chiefs teams he was on was throwing the ball, bro.
Yeah,
they had bold. Yeah, he did it.
He has the record for most touchdowns. He's got most tight end records, and that's not in this era. He's got those records for. I do agree. Shannon, there's a lot of guys. Kellen Winslow Sr., Shannon Sharpe, Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates. Like, if they got to play their primes in this era, we would be having a completely different.
Oh, for sure.
Right. That's everybody in every game, right?
Yeah. What I'm saying is, I would take Tony Gonzalez.
To me, it's weird in the aspect because I was telling Nick about it. I don't know too many people's game that would transition, like older dudes. And I say it all the time. Like, there's not many. Like, there are at receiver, there's a lot. But, like, at tight end, there's not a lot. Because if you look at it,
a lot of guys were blockers back in the day.
Exactly.
But you got to think about it, too. Even the game, the rules have changed to protect the offense more. And then you got to think, too, they probably would have still been good in this era. But there's also, honestly, like, there's better athletes now, faster people. Like
the defensive
schemes, everything is totally different now too. So you would have to take that into it.
You got to take that into account. But the wild thing to me is just that Sharpe literally blocks as good as George Kittle and Gronk, and he's as shifty as Darren Waller and Travis Kelce. Yeah. And he's huge. Like bro. And the crazy thing is, he's not even the best sibling in his house. His brother, if he doesn't get injured,
if he doesn't break his neck, basically, he's he's had and everything. You know?
And Shannon Sharpe tells that story all the time. So it's just, to me, it's wild that DK didn't know that, because you think, like, honestly, you could probably put DK at tight end just to try it and be like, oh, well, you probably play like him.
Yo, and that made me feel old, honestly.
Yeah, that he didn't know. What'd you about to say, Ant?
You're like 23, and I don't see much of a difference between the way like DK is talking to Shannon Sharpe. Then like when you heard like this newer age of rappers come out, when Uzi and like who was it, Yachty were like, "Nah, I don't listen to Pac, I don't listen to Biggie." Like,
did say that.
Like it's the same thing. Like DK Metcalf is 23. He got into the league when he was like what, 21, 20? He a young cat. He probably never seen Shannon Sharp in pads.
Man, I'm gonna give. The thing is though, Uzi and them know who Pac is. They just probably chose not to listen to him. You know what I'm saying?
No, they definitely know who they are for sure.
Him not know who Shannon Sharp is
Hear them the same way we do.
Okay, yeah.
And let's be honest, like, no disrespect to Shannon Sharp, but like Tupac's like a different level of cultural icon too. Like Tupac and Biggie were like, you know, Shannon, and again, no disrespect to Shannon, but like there was a gap between Shannon's playing career and his now media career where he might not have been as relevant, where from the day they touched a microphone till they died, like they were it. You know what I mean?
That's
so
true.
I'll give him a little bit of slack on that.
I just like that he keep it 100 on the show because Skip be driving me crazy, but he do keep he keep.
I don't even take Skip's just a troll.
Yeah, he keep it 100 and he do give the insight of like being a player. So it's nice to see. And he rips everybody. Like I used to think he was just ripping Lamar Jackson. He used to piss me off. But then he would get praise when like, you know, Lamar would do good. So he even killed pretty much on all aspects. Moving along, we got the Cardinals remain undefeated and the Browns and Baker are unraveling. What do you think about that, Terrance?
For me, honestly, I just think the Cardinals, man, they're hot right now. They're playing good ball, complimentary football. And the Browns, I mean, although I must say I had them going to the Super Bowl, I mean, at this point in the season, the way things looking, injuries, you know, dropping a couple games, OBJ connection isn't there, Jarvis Landry, Baker, shoulder. Their Super Bowl window, I mean, I don't even know how big it is now to even say that they're like a top dog in the AFC at this point.
Well, if you want, week 9, we will redo the Super Bowl picks we did before the season started, and you could double down or you can back out and pick a new team.
Oh, no, I'm backing out. I can't pick them this time.
Hey, at least you said it. How you feel about that, Ant? The Browns and the Cards. We got Kyler running around like a badass little kid. How you feel?
Dude, I'm telling you, the MVP race has been Kyler Murray 1, Lamar Jackson 2, basically the entire year. If you've been watching, like the Cardinals are so hot. Lamar Jackson is great, but what Kyler Murray is doing is exceptional. He's completing like 70+% of his passes all year long. That is insane, and he's doing it with his legs too. The Cardinals have surprised a lot of people. They should be the number 1 team in the NFL, and the Browns, on the other hand, the collapse is just wild. Like the Browns are a team now that like they should kind of shut it down for a bit, get people healthy, and then try to make a run towards the back end of the season. We still got 11 games to go. There's so much time where if like things get healthy for them on the back end, because they got a lot of people on IR, they can make a run and get into the playoffs and be what we expected them to be. There's a lot of bad luck right now.
I think that's what a lot of people are trying to figure out. Like, can they get it going, or are they just going to end up being the Browns of old and not getting out of this hole, pretty much? So that's what's
it's crazy to even think that this is the situation. And in a sense, at the front end of the season, being that coming into the season, like top to that, like front to back, offense, defense, like
stacked.
They are one of the best teams in the NFL on paper. So it's crazy to see them. What, 3-3 at this point?
A lot of injuries. Like they're like unlike the Ravens. The Ravens had those injuries, and their next man up, they were just on point. Like the Browns could not deal with it. They lost Jarvis Landry. OBJ was never really a good fit with Baker ever. So people thinking OBJ would just blow up because Jarvis wasn't around anymore made no sense to me personally. They lost Kareem Hunt partway through that game after already losing Nick Chubb, and all they did was rely on that dual back action.
Yeah.
Like Baker was just managing games, and they were running it down people's throat. They were like, bro, we got like 2 top 10 backs in the league. It's all built on that. They lost 2 offensive linemen, lost people on the defensive end. It's tough, but it's also tough to give them that big of a break when Baltimore got like 16 niggas on.
Hey, I promise you. I am not. You ain't getting no type of pass sympathy. Like, I feel bad for the player, but if you gonna be like, oh, this dude's out, we not winning games, bro, do not talk to me about no injuries at all. Nick, how you feel about the Brownies? Real quick.
I think Ant actually hit it on the head with the dual running back action. You know, it's this is probably something that no one who watches the show thought they would ever hear. But when you say Tom Brady's a game manager, there's different levels to it because he can take over a game. The difference between the type of game manager that Baker is if there isn't a running game that can be established first, he really does struggle. Last year, he opened up the season. I can't remember how many interceptions he had, but he's like 9 touchdowns, like 6 interceptions. He ended up finishing the season with like a ratio of like 5-1 because Nick Chubb was finally fully healthy. Kareem Hunt finally got fit into the system, and they were able to take off that aspect of their offense. A lot of people unfairly blamed it on OBJ, and although the fit isn't there, there's no way you can blame a quarterback's play on a wide receiver. It's never that way. So yeah, I think that a lot of their shortcomings have come from the fact that the defense is underperformed. Not nearly as bad as like Washington's, but they're underperforming on defense, and Baker's getting exposed the more beat up that the running back duo gets.
I'm not surprised that the defense is underperforming so much, Nick, because they brought in a whole cast of new guys. So that was gonna take time to gel. I'm really shocked on offense that they are struggling because it's the same people you're looking at. Like Baker, I done threw all these dudes, got the same back, same linemen. We didn't change anything. They brought back David Njoku, who they probably didn't think they were bringing him back. Like that was like a toss up if he was coming back.
They got Hooper, and it was like, why? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly.
So now
they're tight end.
They're deep. They're deep everywhere.
Does anybody know if the Browns do 2 tight end sets ever?
Yeah, they do. Njoku and Hooper would be out there, both of them.
I don't know. This is the only thing I'll say is now that Hunt and Chubb are, banged up, they should do that in more passing sets. Keep Baker in like a dink and dunk. I'm sorry, dude. I know he's got a good big arm. He does have a big arm, but he doesn't tend to make great decisions. So if you can keep them in like a shorter pass game with those tight ends and get him some easy looks, I mean, it might kickstart.
I understand that, Nick, but his connection with OBJ, who is going to be the big time playmaker for this team, he can't connect. So, like you said, honestly, that's a great point.
You just can't be missing.
They're going to have to somebody's going to have to step up in that backfield, run the ball, so then Baker can play action off of it. Even if they're not running the ball well, you're going to have to do it just to try to play action off of it.
They got the rookie from last year. He's a one year vet, Terrance Johnson from USF. So maybe he's going to step up. He looks good in flashes, and he gonna get the ball this Sunday. I don't think they're gonna rush Chubb back. If I was them, I'm not rushing them back.
No, not at all. Not at
all. What'd you say, Nick? What'd you say? Yeah, there's no way. You can't.
Like they are starting that dude, the second year guy. Dave already said it. Chubb and Hunt will not play as confirmed.
Yeah.
Struggle for a second.
Look like it's a slow grind with Terrance Johnson. That's his motto. So we're going to see if the slow grind and paid off for him. Hopefully it does, hometown kid. So we're hoping for that. This is funny. I know Ants ain't going to like it. And a Bears fan. He done seen this firsthand. He done dealt with it his whole life damn near. Aaron Rodgers sees the double bird in the stands and starts yelling all my fucking life, right? You know why he's yelling this? Because he's saying, I own the Bears. All my life, I have owned the Bears. If y'all want to know his record against the Bears, I think it's 22-5 or it's 21-5. Either way, I'm going to give him the win, say it's 22-5. So, how do you feel about that, Ann? Let me get the Bears perspective. Bears fan.
First off, fuck 12.
That man's the GOAT. That man's the GOAT.
First off, fuck 12.
Yo, I'm weak.
That was so fitting, too. It's crazy.
First thing, fuck 12. But if we just be honest, Aaron Rodgers has given us nightmares for a very long time. If y'all remember 2 seasons ago, they opened at Chicago and we had like a 20-point lead going into the half. And they came back, of course, and we didn't score again and they won the game. And my hearts are just used to being broken by Aaron Rodgers. So all I really got to say about it is fuck 12. And
that's fair. 12 is not getting a pass, though. I'd love 12. To me, 12 is probably, I'm taking him as my favorite quarterback all time if I had to pick. But he does not get a pass because he ran the ball. It's like 12 yards out into the end zone. Using the Jets, bro. He turned the Jets on. My thing is, why did you not do this last year so you could have played in the Super Bowl? That's the only complaint I got about this. You could have did it last year, and I could have been talking about you in the Super Bowl, but instead you're like...
Keystone, those, like in sports, there's just those teams that going into the game, we're going to beat their ass or we just going to win regardless, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's how the Packers with Aaron Rodgers look at the Bears. Like, no matter what, we winning this game.
I'm just.
Someone get Anna Kleenex.
Yeah, he saw the double birds in the stands.
We got cheated. Oh man, we got cheated out that game. Like it was ridiculous. Like they called an interception on what should have been a free play. They gave us a delay of game, and we called a timeout, and they didn't even give it to us. Like we got jobs that game. I will say that, but like we probably
even if you would have won overtime, he was gonna dog y'all. I ain't gonna lie.
Different. Things is gonna be different. We're building something.
Hey, you know what I want to see though? I want to see Chicago bring back Allen Robinson. I think he's nice. I want to see him and Justin Fields really get it going. But
I want to see them trade Allen Robinson to the Patriots.
We want to see him back. You want to see him back? We want to see him back.
Hey, y'all better open up the pockets. I don't know what it's looking real open up the pockets like, but we're gonna keep it pushing. Nick had brought this up to me. He texted me, so I want to get Nick's understanding from this. Is Ja'Marr Chase offensive rookie of the year?
My answer is yes, but I do want to say, because I've said this from week one since we started this podcast, offensive and defensive line, but mostly offensive line does not get the love they deserve. My man that I said was Rashawn Slater, the left tackle for the Chargers. The dude is a rookie, obviously, but arguably the best left tackle in the league, period, this year. I know, obviously, legacy takes time, but if you're talking about strictly play this year, he's allowed 2 sacks, and he plays in a pretty hellacious division. He's had some crazy games. He's had 424 snaps this year and has only let up 2 snaps. He's only had 3 penalties, period. His Pro Football Focus grade is 75.9, which is in the top 5 out of left tackles in the league. But to answer the question, let's be honest. Obviously, it's going to be a skill position that's going to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. I just wanted to give him love, and that was the point of my text that I sent to the guys this week. But yeah, Ja'Marr Chase is balling out of control, and I know that y'all are going to give me shit for everything that happened prior to the season and all that with the preseason. But I'll say it again. I never said Ja'Marr Chase was bad. I just said that his excuse was BS. But he's balled out of control, and I've had tons of hope for the fact that Joe Burrow, because we gave them shit for not taking someone like a Rashawn Slater. We're eating it now because they look like one of the most deadly combos in the league.
No, I mean, we're not eating it because I do think Ja'Marr Chase is great. And it's crazy because if you look at it, he don't get that much separation and he still takes the ball from people.
Yeah.
And then, but to me, they still should have took Slater because they got 3 receivers, bro.
Yeah.
Even before getting him. That's the thing to me. Like, you didn't need him. Don't get me wrong. Even if he wins Offensive Rookie of the Year, you probably can't go far into the playoffs or make the playoffs because
you still got Boyd and Higgins. So you got a solid squad as is.
Yeah, but I mean, he's dogging it. It's crazy. It's nice to see. And then so we got somebody else in the same division to talk about. My man L Jackson, Lamar Jackson, the legend out of Pompano. Thanks, Ant, because that made me steal that little idea you be doing a little bit. Had to steal it. He just passed Dan Marino for the most wins under the age of 25. He has 35. Dan Marino had 34. Drew Bledsoe had 32. Ben Roethlisberger had 29. And Bernie Kosar and Josh Allen are at 28.
That's more like 35-8 as a starter.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think it's actually that's it. How do you feel about that, Terrance?
I mean, he deserves it. If anybody deserves the level of success, it's Lamar Jackson. I mean, to pretty much silence all the critics, all the haters. And I mean, even this week, man, I'm excited to see y'all play these Bengals because you got that number 55. Lamar is going to take his soul this weekend. He's out here talking about Lamar Jackson as a running back and quarterback. They doing this again. The linebacker for the Bengals now we're talking about here. So he better put his body where his mouth is because he's going to have to line up out there against this man this weekend. So, man, I'm excited for that. But definitely, ever since Lamar touched the field, you can see that, he was just ready for the moment. The moment wasn't too big for him. And like I said, I mean, I'm just excited to continue to see him be successful, honestly, because at the end of the day, he deserves every bit of it.
Yes, sir. And I will clarify, the Bengals linebacker did say, obviously, I'm not saying he's just a running back. He didn't make a tweet, but I'm gonna be honest, he probably was taking a shot because the Bills.
Nah, you mean what you say the first time. Don't be doing all that.
I think he was. I think he low key took a shot because the Bills outside linebacker Milano, he did it last year. He took a shot at him, and before that playoff game, I want to say they met the season before, and Lamar left him. So I mean, I'm gonna be honest. The only linebacker that's standing in front of Lamar is probably Darius Leonard, and I could probably say that pretty easy. Like, I haven't seen him play Devin White and the boys, but I think he'd make Devin White miss because Leonard is pretty disciplined when it comes to playing him every time. He plays him pretty even.
Yeah,
TJ Watt plays him good, but TJ Watt just isn't fast enough, like by any means, to keep up with him. Darius Leonard is damn near fat, he's extremely fast for a linebacker. And how you feel about L. Jax?
I mean, everybody kind of should already know this, but he's been doing this the entire time, and each year he gets so much better. Like, he already won an MVP, and that was like his second year. Yeah, like each year he gets so much better. And like this year, we're seeing the fact that, like, if he needs to, he can sit in the pocket and beat people now. That's the big change for Lamar Jackson. It's not like if he needs to come from behind, he can. If he needs to sit in the pocket and beat you with his arm, he can. And it wasn't like he was incapable of doing it before. But now I put money on him making big comebacks, like, consistently. Like, if the Ravens are behind 15 points, are you afraid now? 15, 20 points before, you might be like, oh, damn, can the Ravens come back from that now? Now you're like 15, 20 points. You're like, all right, one of these might be a chunk play to Hollywood Brown, and we at like 8 points. Like, that play is there. That play is consistent there. All that matters is Hollywood Brown going to drop it this time.
He ain't been, I mean, besides earlier in the season, he ain't been dropping it lately. So
it's crazy to see. I'm glad he got that monkey off his back. People, they're gonna keep talking regardless, but he definitely is a young legend. Honestly, it's crazy. I mean, we'll see how further he can take it. Hope he stays healthy as much. He ain't getting those calls. Those when he's getting hit going out of bounds or the rough and passer calls, he's not getting, which is really strange. I mean, he did have the one where he looked like he was gonna cut back, so I kind of get that one. But the ones where he's in the pocket, bro, I think it's strange this year. He's staying in the pocket. Like, he's forcing himself to stay in the pocket, and I hate it. Because there's times where he could take off, and you could see, like, he's like, no, I'm going to sit here because I got to prove you guys wrong. But, yeah, so we'll keep it moving into the halftime segment of the show. Terrance, who were the top 10 players of this past week?
Yeah, so we got the top 10 performers here who, and like we said, we do this, and we also take to factor that these guys help their team get a win. So there are a lot of guys out there who obviously perform, but team to get the dub. So how much of the performance really matters, So number one on the list, which I believe is a thumbnail at this point, Derrick Henry. Man had 143 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, he for this season so far, he had the highest ball carrier speed of 21.8 miles per hour. And he had a 76-yard touchdown run.
He's too damn big to move that fast.
Bro, yeah, he looks like
he's too damn big.
He looked like a train, bro. It don't make like, and it's like, I don't know, what's that one?
It didn't even look like he was running 21 miles per hour.
But his strides are so fucking
he's big.
long, bro. He killing it.
Like 5'10", 185-pound dudes, like, he's blowing by him. Like, it's
listen, all I'm gonna say is Micah Hyde made a couple business decisions last night to get in front of that man.
Yo, when Steve Levy said that, I lost my shit. And he's like, the field's open for Derrick Henry. Someone's gonna have to make a business decision. I lost my mind.
He better than me because I wouldn't have made no damn business decision because he still ran over my bro. Micah Hyde, he was so weird about that. He got low.
That's all you can do.
He got low to like hit him. He didn't get low to grab his ankles. I would have grabbed that man's ankle and be like, you know what, you ain't running me over. He instead was like, okay, well, I'm gonna stand here stiff and you gonna have to run. Boy, ran right through him.
Man, well, like he won't even stand in there. So I think he's like a consensus number one. And I mean, at the end of the day, honestly, the Titans surprisingly are sitting at 4-2. So at the end of the day, now we're looking at it. Can we start talking about Derrick Henry for MVP? I'm gonna just put that on there now.
I've been saying it. He should.
Bro,
I'm saying this year though. Now, I mean, we know he might have got snubbed.
Where do you have him?
Wait, what's good?
You said you had Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson as 1 and 2. I genuinely, how do you not have Derrick up there in that conversation?
Derrick Henry should be 3. I think that the difference is 1, Lamar Jackson is doing it with no help, right? Look, Lamar Jackson is doing it without his running back 1, running back 2, running back 3, one of his starting offensive linemen. He didn't have Rashad Bateman, their first round wide receiver.
Wait.
I ain't gonna lie to you, Ant.
Time out.
The Titans was doing it with practice squad receivers, no defense.
No.
You know this man finna get the ball 30 times.
The second string defense that the Ravens have is like infinitely better than all the starters.
Hey, technical timeout. We taking a timeout real quick. I'll let y'all know. I think Lamar Jackson is special, but the weapons he has this year is an upgrade from what he's had in the past, and it's still not better than a lot of people's weapons. And that defense is great because I'm gonna let you know Lamar played pretty suspect this past Sunday. Not bad, like horribly bad. But the defense came back on the backside of it and showed up because a couple of weeks it wasn't showing up, which is weird because normally they're pretty solid, and then it's like on Lamar how they go back and forth and play complimentary ball. But I get what you're saying, Ant, but that defense ain't bad.
What was your point?
That Ravens defense was outside of the top 10 in points for like the first time in like 3 seasons. And Lamar was still winning. Like last game was the first time that it was a defensive win, not an offensive win. And that's why I like Lamar so high. Like Derrick Henry, yes, he is fantastic. He is taking over games. He wins them on his own. But when all those receivers were out, the practice squad receivers, that's when they played the Jets. And they lost to the Jets. Man.
Hey, I'm gonna check this out though. The reason why though is because you can see how much Derrick Henry means to Ryan Tannehill. But it also shows you how bad Ryan Tannehill actually might be. Because I saw him missing Julio clean as day, bro. And you're like, bro, why are you missing this, man?
Misses somebody, man. Everybody's going to throw here and there. They won't be perfect. Ryan Tannehill.
Not 6 throws.
Hey, here's an interesting fact. I know Nick like to throw out interesting facts. So Derrick Henry has 783 rushing yards. He has 260 more yards than the next closest player, who's at 523. He also has twice as many rushing touchdowns as the next guy. So he has 10 and the guy behind him has 5.
I'm gonna let you know though, to me, he should have been got an MVP. So if he don't get it this year and he go for 2K, it's a problem.
Okay, so if the Titans win the AFC West and he goes for 2K, AFC South, and he goes for 2K, he should have it. That is dependent on how good Kyler Murray is. Because right now, Kyler Murray is doing something that is also like unheard of.
They are.
But Kyler got nuked though. That's the thing. Remember, people said the same thing about Deshaun having nuke, and they were like, no, he has to prove it without having nuke. And guess what happened? He did prove it, and it was like, oh well, no, Deshaun's like that. And now I look at Kyler. I think Kyler's special. Don't get me wrong, but Kyler benefits from what Watson did. That you have nuke, and it takes up a whole. People are like, well, damn, we have to cover him.
And you're talking about the revitalization of
AJ Green's playing good, yeah. So then it's like what are we? They got Rondell Moore in the slot with Christian Kirk, both 2 dudes that run like a 4-3. Like, I'm not saying Kyler should be out there.
Zach Ertz now too.
Yeah, like Kyler, that's crazy.
Patrick Mahomes should not have an MVP then either.
Huh?
If this is what we're trying to say, Patrick Mahomes should also not have his MVP. He had Tyreek Hill. He had Travis Kelce.
Hold up. Now I feel like we're getting off track here because they revolutionized football. But the point I'm making is, all right, so you said, the Ravens were outside the top 10. The Ravens have the 19th best defense. Tennessee's got the 24th best defense. Lamar Jackson, and again, I don't really like these conversations because then it sounds like I'm shitting on Lamar or Kyler, and I'm really not. I mean, I'm just saying, my pick is Derrick Henry because you lost your top 2 wide receivers. Tannehill's having a regressed season, your quarterback. The difference is Derrick Henry is a running back. He can't make the plays on his own. It's here's the ball, literally carry our team to a victory. Last night you have a Bills team who dropped 31 points, in most games, they win that football game. You have the 24th best defense in the league. And then on top of that, Caleb Farley, who's a rookie, literally coming off a broken neck as your best cornerback, going up against one of the best passing attacks. You had to have all 143 of those yards, all 3 of those touchdowns, and you just took down one of the best teams in the league, arguably by yourself, by literally putting your team on your back.
Hey,
so I mean, that's where I'm coming from in terms of what Derrick Henry's done this year.
I get that, but off topic spill of this MVP race, I'm gonna say this just to say this: the Bills should not have did that QB sneak. You were lighting them up and down the field the whole night. No. Check me out, Ant. They lit them up the whole night up and down the field. Right? They had their backup corners in. Caleb Farley got injured. Diggs is your other best player on the field. You could have threw a fade or something to Diggs. I get it; it's 1 yard, but like, I'm not running it with Josh Allen.
I mean, I like the quarterback sneak because your quarterback is like 6'6", like 252. Yeah. So I like it. You can tell he lost his footing and everything. But what I didn't like was him grabbing the ball and going off to the left, maybe thinking he had a hole or something. Man, get the ball and go forwards. All you gotta do is lean forwards.
But Jeffrey Simmons played that big. People don't know that. Jeffrey Simmons went straight into the gap he was going. And then another thing is, though, they could have emptied out the backfield and been like, if you don't get your first look, run it. Which I feel like in that situation, he would have got the first. The backfield's clear. If he go to throw to Diggs or Cole Beasley, because that's who he was throwing to that night. All right, you're not open. Boom, I'm going. And I feel like that would have. And I like Doug McDermott, so I'm not really.
So you went like the play call, not the fact that they went for it.
Yeah, I just don't like the play call.
Okay, Sean McDermott.
Yeah, my bad.
I'm okay with the play call.
My bad, Sean.
The play call for me is the Josh Allen not just sticking his nose right up the center, just go right behind him, like grabbing the ball, trying to go off center. I understand, like, you see that with teams that do that, but for the most part, you see people do that when they're like, 20, 30-yard line. It's like, we're going to go for it, just being aggressive. Or you grab the ball and pull a Cam Newton, grab the ball, stick it over the top.
Yeah, that, especially with how big he is.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that one would have been way simpler. There are many different ways to execute the sneak that was much better than what he did, but he obviously slipped. I will say that, like, if you don't have a problem with them going for it, then, like, I ain't got no beef with the statement. A lot of people were like, you should have just kicked the field goal.
Hell no. Derrick Henry would have ran the ball the whole overtime.
That's what I'm saying.
Bro,
I don't like the field goal because whoever got the ball, you're taking a 50-50 shot at. No one was stopping anyone that night. So whoever got ball first was winning the game. So I like the fourth down.
Yeah, they wasn't stopping Derrick Henry.
You gonna trust Josh? You gonna trust Josh Allen or a coin toss? Like, I get the call. Like, it's 100% fine because Derrick Henry, we don't watch them do it in the past. They get in overtime or they get in the fourth corner. Bro, either he's going to break an 80-yard run or he's going to run the ball 15 times on one drive. And your defense is going to be like, like, what do you want to happen? I'm not
going to hit that man at that point again.
Already. So, like, he already got them once for the big run and for the touchdown. So it was probably in the back of their heads because they already seen it happen.
It's crazy. To me, you just got to just a play call. I like the select, like, what's your decision to go for it, but just a play call would be better. Because Josh Allen been taking a lot of hits this year. I don't know if people have been paying attention, but he been getting hit. And that's the same thing that happened with Cam. Remember, Cam got hit in the shoulder, and it's not that Cam can't move anymore. Cam got hit in the arm, and them balls are like dying down when he's going to throw them. But who else you got on this top 10 list, Terrance?
Yeah, so I got to throw. These are King Henry was the only number one. The rest of them we can debate as far as the order wise.
Just name off who you got.
Yeah, I got to throw Trayvon Diggs in there. He tied the NFL record with 7 interceptions in 6 games, also including 2 pick sixes. I mean, the man plays defense and he has the same amount of touchdowns as his brother with the Bills. Insane.
That's dope.
We got CeeDee Lamb, who went for 149 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. Dak Prescott threw for 445 and 3 touchdowns. Max Crosby, 3 sacks, 5 quarterback hits, a tackle for loss, and a pass deflected or defensed. Dalvin Cook went for 140 and a touchdown against that stingy Carolina defense. Adam Thielen as well went for 126 receiving yards and a touchdown. Then you got Jonathan Taylor, who went for 145 and 2 touchdowns, as well as he had an 83-yard touchdown run as well. Cooper Kupp went for 130 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. And TJ Watt had 2 sacks, 4 quarterback pressures, 2 quarterback hits, 3 tackles for losses, 1 forced fumble, and 6 tackles. Man, it went insane.
Off the stat sheet.
Yeah,
Bro.
TJ Watt is the reason that defense is like that. Like you saw what it looked like.
You sold me on. He's number 2 for the week.
You saw what
he's carrying that defense.
No, because you see what it looks like when he's not in there. So it's like, well, damn, bro. When he's in there, like he almost has the quarterback impact like a top quarterback not being on the team. Like you're like, bro, how is he making? Because they still got Fitzpatrick or they got Mika at safety. They still got Joe Hayden. They got some veterans on the line. So you're like, bro, like why aren't y'all still doing kind of good? But then it's also because the offense be throwing the ball away. So we ain't really gonna get into that. But
he has an Aaron Donald effect on the game.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They will triple and double team, which is why when he's not around, the other guys don't look as good because they're like, oh, I ain't never seen a double team when man was on the field.
Yeah, that is true. Good point, man.
Like, yeah, I ain't never seen a double team because he was over there. They like have like a screenshot someone had where he had 3 dudes on him, and one of the dudes was just supporting the other guy from not falling over from being pushed by DJ Watt. Like, yeah,
That's insane, bro.
Oh yeah.
That boy an animal. The one with Cooper Kupp, I talked about it on Twitter. If they were saying, do you think he's a top 4 wideout right now off his volume, the position he is? Obviously, Matthew Stafford loves throwing the ball to him. He's going to get off this year, probably finish top 10, top 5, realistically probably top 5. But I don't think he's a top 5 talent-wise. I think talent-wise, there's definitely people better than him. But he's going to benefit off this system, and then him and Stafford just have this weird connection. Like he's the only one in that.
It's the system.
Yeah, he's the only one getting the ball though. It's crazy. Like you look at the other stats of the other receivers, like where they're at compared to him. He's just like jumped out ahead. So you got him. The CeeDee Lamb one was big. The walk off against the Patriots. I felt bad for you, Terrance, because
I'm ready to cut Jalen Mills myself because they literally was running that play like 2 plays ago, called the timeout, and came right back to it. And the crazy thing is, CD ran the route when they called timeout. He ran the route.
The thing though is I think I brought it up with Nick, but just having a receiver like that and you let him get the inside. There's some receivers in this league that are way too shifty to do that to. Like he's CeeDee Lamb, you got Justin Jefferson, Odell, Brandon Cooks. Like the list goes. Like you can't just be like, oh, you know what, face cut me, and then I'm gonna push you at the end and then stare at you. Like, bro, I'm glad.
The crazy thing too, it was whatever down it was in 25. And they picked it up in one play because CeeDee Lamb to the middle of the field.
I just don't get how they didn't have someone on the other side. Like that whole thing, even if you were a man, I probably would have had someone come over, like a linebacker, just drop back. Just drop back somewhere just in case. And
honestly, I'm gonna put that game on the play calling because we were too conservative. We definitely should have won that game. With the position we were in, we should have won it. I'm gonna put that one on the play calling.
Hey,
we got too conservative.
Nick,
again, I'm gonna say again.
Nick,
we got really conservative.
Nick, how do you feel about this? I got a question for you. The people are saying that Trevon Diggs got hit with a double move. I watched it and it was a lapse in coverage, not with him and the safety. And in all reality, I think Diggs could have intercepted this ball, but he thought the safety was going to make a play. So what do you think? Because to me, he did get double moved, but he wasn't out of the play because in all reality, he probably could have snagged it.
So preface that by saying everyone keeps bringing out the amount of yards he's given up this year. I think it's like 1,200 yards on the season he's given up. But the thing is the interceptions do counteract it. Now he's playing a little cavalier. I thought on that play, he knew he got beat, so he was like, well, I got to make a play on the ball. And like you said, yeah, the safety, he thought he was going to get some coverage over the top and he didn't. So when he went for it, he kind of looked like he got cooked, but I think it was more so just him making a couple bad mistakes, but he still had a play on the ball. And
yeah, he didn't go. He backed out of it. Yeah.
So he knew he got beat on the move, made the right decision to go for the ball, say, all right, well, I'm either about to get beat or I'm going to get the ball, which is kind of the way he plays. People want to talk about the yards he gives up, but he makes those gambles a lot and he doesn't get beat often. So yeah, that play, it looked like he hesitated. Had he not, it was probably going to be a third pick. And it's like, I don't know. Now we're talking like GOAT status for the year. I don't know.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you, Terrance. Like you done seen a couple corners line up with you, but I think even on that double move, if we run the replay, like it just looks like he was gonna snag it again.
I know what you're talking about, and the crazy thing too about this, an interesting fact for Nick, is that same safety that didn't make a play on the ball per se, just got arrested as well for a DUI, I think.
Oh,
Damn.
So
He was part of he took the loss to heart. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, playing corner, I played it. I thought if I was in that position, the reason I don't jump this ball is because I'm expecting the safety to crack this dude or he's taking the ball. Because they kind of get there, it's like, oh well, Diggs kind of just ducks after he like realizes, oh well, he. So I don't know. It looked a little crazy to me.
Hey, money ball for Mac Jones.
Yeah, no, that was fire though, because I jumped up. I'm not gonna lie. He threw that ball, I jumped up and lost my mind. I was like, damn, bro, like he made that? Because to me, running it back every time, I'm like, this is taking this. And he just threw it. He's like, all right, you got me, I got you back. So it was nice to see. Nick is gonna provide us a statistic on the Bengals. You know, they're catching fire. Joe Burrow's rolling, Jamar Chase is rolling, and Joe Mixon, we already know this is a top 5 running back, but people don't give him the credit.
So all that being said, the key said, I just want to start this out by I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong. I had them winning 3 games on the year. They've already surpassed that. Had 4, and most of that was from the defense was super suspect last year, and the offensive line was garbage. But Joe Mixon and Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and all those weapons have been able to take off, and the offensive line's taking a step forward. The stats I want to provide on why I think they're pretty good, or doing much better than what people expected, is their overall defense is 11th. They're right outside of top 10. So defense is overperforming like crazy, and they've played some stiff competition. I mean, if not for kickers overshadowing that game versus the Packers, you're talking about one of the best shootouts we've seen in a while between one of the upcoming quarterbacks versus one of the GOATs. They're 6th in passing touchdowns. So Joe Burrow, we've already talked about the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase connection, but he's got a plethora of weapons. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. I mean, they got everything going on. They're 4th least amount of penalties. They're a very young team. So to have that little amount of penalties shows that even though they're young, they're disciplined. And then they're also 10th in first down defense. So even if they're giving up some big plays, they're able to come back and stop further damage. And I think it's been, the key contributors to their success.
Yeah, definitely. How do you feel about the Bengals over there, Ant?
so I thought this team was going to be like more than decent, like a 7, maybe 8, somewhere 7.
Damn.
That's
some shit I never seen.
Hey, I just had to look back at the notes. I had them getting 5, and right now, if they don't lose the rest of the year, which they won't, I'm screwed too.
Yeah. So Joe Burrow was actually like really good last year. So like that was something that like I always thought was going to be really helpful for them. Like Joe Burrow was a rookie, really just out there slinging it with people, and if it wasn't for like getting hurt, he was really out there putting up like numbers that weren't at Justin Herbert's clip, but they weren't too far behind. And we were all like, wow, Justin Herbert is everything. So I just thought they were going to be significantly prolific on offense that would get them a lot of wins. Joe Burrow seemed like if the game was close, he was not afraid to sling it and just like win a close one.
He's got no fear.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that we have seen that like when he was going back to back with Rodgers. So I thought they were going to be pretty decent. The defense has surprised me a ton.
They spent that money in free agency and it's paid off. They got old boy TJ Henderson, or I think it's CJ or TJ Henderson from the Saints. They brought him in. So they got him at end. They got somebody else at end, and they got Trey Wayne at safety. They got what is this? The safety. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, they got a little
I know who you're talking about.
I
had him at six wins as well. So
it's crazy. They ain't losing. Like they gonna get to about 7, 8 before I feel like the wheels start. And I don't even know if the wheels are gonna come off.
Okay, who makes the playoffs out this division then?
Oh, Jesse Bates. My bad. I'm sorry, bro. I forgot your name.
The Ravens and the Bengals, bro. The Ravens and the Bengals.
That's what it looks like right now, isn't it?
It's too early. I'm a fan.
Bengals.
Check me out. Yeah, check me out. This is the only reason I'm saying it's too early. If you look at it, the Ravens, I keep telling everybody I'm a big Ravens fan, but these injuries are gonna show like their ugly head soon, I feel like. And because people keep dropping, we just lost Ronnie Stanley. Granted, Ronnie Stanley ain't played since the Raiders game, but now he's shut down for the whole year. He ain't coming back till next year. So now we got the problem at left tackle. Obviously, we got Villanueva. He's going to fill that void this year. But going forward, like, what does that look like? It's just a lot of injuries to overcome. They do, bro. I'm going to be ecstatic because, I got the Dolphins game coming up in November. Go see them in Miami. But they overcome all these injuries, bro. Crazy.
I mean, I'm assuming because they added a lot of depth on defense. Just looking back at notes here, like you said, they added Trey Hendrickson, but they did lose Carl Lawson, who was a big free agent addition for them. Then they also added the corner of Wouzier. They added Mike Hilton.
That Mike Hilton signing was strange too, because from the Steelers he went to the Bengals. I thought that was real strange. But I've been noticing that a lot. People just stay in the same division. Maybe they don't go back to the same team, but they kind of lock in with somebody else.
I mean, they brought in that veteran presence, so guys know what they're doing, and they can come in and make an immediate impact. So I feel like it's definitely surprising to see, the current level of success that they've been having. But I mean, you take a look at it, and you're like, okay, they brought in some veterans, but then we were surprised with the Jamar Chase pick not picking up the offensive lineman, obviously. But
y'all think Jamar Chase, and you think he's gonna break Justin Jefferson's record from last year? He got an extra game to do it too.
If he stays healthy, I mean,
it's looking like it. Like he nasty. He nasty with it. Like people did not expect him to be this good after the preseason. Making fun of the ball looks different when it comes down. It don't look different no more. It don't look different no more.
I feel like this actually proves my point, bro. He was just a little nervous. He just had to shake it off, and he was ready to rumble.
Hey, I'm letting you know. If y'all see that block he laid for Joe Mixon to get the end zone, I'm like, damn.
That shit was good. Part of the play when I watched it, I was like, damn, he don't get that touchdown without that.
Bro, he's not getting the end zone.
Yeah.
Bro, Chase levels this corner of safety. Just, bro, get out of the way. So I guess we were talking about blocking. Maybe he low-key a blocker. Who knows?
He's physical.
Yeah, he's a physical guy. So, I mean.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's good to see.
Yeah.
See that success, for sure.
We have some other big news. I'm going to take the lead on this one. It kind of pissed me off. The football team retired Sean Taylor's jersey, number 21. Big RIP to Sean Taylor, bro. He is probably on his way to do great things. And unfortunately, he's protecting his family. Somebody broke into his house and killed him. Life gone way too short. It's crazy because his daughter was young when that happened. She was a full-grown adult on the field. She was crying and everything. That's a shitty organization. I'm gonna say that now. You can't have all that go on. And there's other jerseys they were supposed to have been retired, and y'all thought, okay, all this happened, we're gonna retire this man's jersey. I just think it was piss poor. Your HR people, your PR people need to be fired because that was a terrible display of shit to do. I just think it was ultimately disrespectful. And then y'all put Mahomes' family on the roped off section for Sean Taylor's number. So y'all really is ass backwards. That's all I got to say about it. And you can see maybe on that team, you start noticing, granted, the defense is always having to save the day and they're getting tired because they don't have consistent play on offense. But maybe people are tired of what's going on in that shitty organization. So that's how I feel about it. What you got to say about it, Nick?
I mean, I agree with everything you said. I don't even want to say, oh, what a coincidence, because it's blatant. They were looking for a reason to get heat off of them with their tie to the John Gruden drama. And they were like, oh, everyone loves Sean Taylor because he's one of the biggest. They know that media loves tragedy, and the fact that they were this man should have been retired, should have had his jersey retired because, yes, he had a very short career, but you saw the great things that he did, the impact he had on that franchise, the impact he had on the city of Miami, everything he was doing. And the fact that you look to cash in on getting some sympathy points when your franchise is under fire. I mean, that's some pretty reprehensible stuff.
Yeah. How you feel about it, T?
It's just disgusting, honestly. I agree with everything y'all said. Like you said, they should have just been retired the man jersey. Like you said, they're just looking to take some heat off of the situation.
And I feel bad for Ron Rivera because I like him as a coach, but he coaching a shit organization right now.
It's just
I feel bad for
sad to see
all
them,
the players.
Yeah,
all
sure.
those dudes.
It's sad to see them going out like that. That they have to ride the ship pretty much because I'm stuck with this organization.
Hey, fun fact, on my franchise mode, I made the the football team and the Raiders shit. I trade all their players away. They're asshole.
Mm.
How you feel about it, Ant?
I'm not surprised by it, right? Because this is the Washington Football Organization and kind of the entire thing they've been through. Like, we know the entire reason why the Gruden thing existed in the first place was actually because of the whole Washington football investigation that happened.
Yeah,
Like,
they've been on scrutiny for
Trainer, yeah.
yeah, with like the cheerleaders in Cancun and everything else. So like, it's difficult to see because last year they were definitely on their best behavior, and it seemed like they abdicated a lot of culture responsibility to Ron Rivera and like I think it was his daughter that was also working at the organization. But it seems like after that year where, you know, some of the heat came off a little bit, they reverted back in a lot of the decision makings and processes that they were going to, which is what created all the problems in the first place. So I don't think this is the last issue we're going to have with the Washington football team, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, probably not. You can't make the owner sell the team. But if I was Chase Young, bitch, you about to get me off this team for sure. Like if I'm Scary Terry, if I'm Scary Terry, send me to New England. Like it's just looking like that. So in other news, this is quite funny. I guess somebody figured out they wanted to get paid, and he realized he still had a chance to play in this league. Cam Newton went and got vaccinated. He's possibly going to be signing with Seattle. Seattle fans are saying don't sign him, blah, blah, blah. I think it just adds quarterback depth. Even if he don't play over Geno, it gives you depth. And like, I don't know why you wouldn't sign him. If Russ is going to miss some time, you ain't need to rush Russ back. Honestly, Geno probably wins y'all that game if DK Metcalf gets out of bounds. Let's be honest. So how you feel about it?
I ain't gonna lie. I want to chime in a little bit because for me, I think it definitely gives them options. And to me, hear me out now.
You wish he would have been got it.
No, if I'm Russ, think about this. If y'all don't win no games while I'm out, I'm not playing for the rest of the season and I'm requesting a trade.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, send me up out of here.
Oh, for sure. If y'all
I'm gone.
It was these next 3 games he gonna miss for sure. So he might miss 3 or 4. If y'all don't get 2 wins, I'm not coming back and I'm leaving. But I talked about it with some people. It's the character of Russ. You know, I was talking about the Ball Hawks over with Chris because he's a big Seattle fan. He doesn't think it's in Russ's character. I don't think it is either. But I think he would respectfully go about it. He wouldn't just be an asshole and be like,
I think he would definitely request a trade. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, his value is still one of the best in the league if you talk about trade value because Russell Wilson, we know what he can do. So end of the day, I don't think he would go about it disrespectfully, but like at the end of the day, this is a business, right? If you can choose to trade me, I should be able to choose to say, hey, you know, I no longer want to be here. You can go about it in a respectful way and it still be a business decision and be respected mutually, right? I mean,
you think he gets Pete Carroll fired before he leaves?
I think you look at it this way. If he tells you he wants Pete gone, or you choose Pete or Russ, you done chose Pete every other time. I'm not choosing Pete again.
Bro, Pete's 98 years old.
Choosing Pete.
Pete is 98 years old. Get that man out of here.
He gotta go,
it's up
bro.
to them, though. They gotta make that decision.
If you look at it, Seattle got a lot of things going wrong. So if I'm Russ, I would probably just leave. Because you got Jamal Adams playing too much in coverage. You making him look like asshole. And I'm be honest.
That's interception, bro.
I don't think, bro. You know that that wasn't his best moment. But I'm not gonna lie. He is a great player. You just got to use him how he's supposed to be used. And dropping him in coverage every time is not how he's supposed to be used. So they didn't.
Pete Carroll's first coaching gig was back when they were still playing with leather helmets and no face masks, bro. They need to get that man out of here.
Yeah, safe to say, because honestly, I'm gonna say this season's probably gonna be a wash for him. Even if Russ comes back, I'm gonna say it's a wash. And then next year,
honestly, without Russ, I think without Russ, now they're getting exposed because they're really not that good. Russ makes this team go. Defense.
So Russ's value goes up even more.
As high as it was gonna be.
Really quick, where you got? If I'm gonna ask all 3, Nick, where would Russ go? Just one destination. Y'all can't pick the same destination. Where would you like to see him?
So I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I really couldn't even think of something off the top of my head because San Francisco was like probably the perfect fit, but they filled that gap. Denver maybe. Since
I'm
they
gonna
weren't
say
able to get Aaron Rodgers.
you
So I'll
got
say Denver.
You got Denver. I got Cleveland. Who you got, Terrance?
That'd be nice.
He probably fit good.
You can be a homer too. Don't worry.
Let's send him to.
Nah, Mac Jones is the GOAT, bro. We've already gone over this.
Ain't nobody call Mac Jones the GOAT. See, he big cap right now. Send my boy down to send him down to either like a Miami or I'm gonna say Miami. I'm stuck between like Miami, Carolina, or like the football team. But I mean, we don't want to send to the football team, so Miami or Carolina is one.
Who you got over there, Ant?
Carolina would probably be the pick. Carolina is a upgraded quarterback away from having a almost Super Bowl roster at this point. Their defense is so good. They have Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore.
I'm trading Christian McCaffrey.
Look, maybe they choose to, right? But assuming that, what does a team look like with Christian McCaffrey or Russell Wilson running at the same time?
I give up 2 or 3 first rounders for Russell Wilson.
It don't look good because Christian McCaffrey can't be on the field.
I said,
but when he's there though, they balling.
What it looks like when they on the field.
I if I was Carolina, if Seattle was willing to do that, I would send them Christian McCaffrey for them to send me like something else, a pick with Russ or something, because Christian's younger. So maybe you can
also always hurt, and Russ's only injury was his finger. They ain't giving you that shit.
Exactly. So the only way that's gonna work is head up. And I just want to see Russ on a team where he ain't got to do too much. So that's why I honestly said the Browns, which is ridiculous because I'm a Ravens.
I could send them CMC and a pick or 2, but I'm doing it.
I like the Browns one because I think that, because you're not going to get equal trade value for Russell Wilson as a quarterback. And I mean, like someone like a Baker is about as close you're going to get. Another one I was thinking about, even like the Saints would be a good one because they got a lot of capital to give up. And I mean, Jameis so far has looked like a decent comeback season for him. So maybe something like that.
Saints ain't got no cap though. Russ getting paid $30 million. I think the only way the Brownies could pull it off, which they probably wouldn't, but the only way they could pull it off was trading Baker and getting rid of something else.
Hey, what if you sent my boy to Minnesota?
Ooh.
Minnesota go head up, Kurt for Russ.
I'm sending you something. You can get some picks.
Minnesota already done with Kirk.
Yeah, you can get Kirk and some picks.
Minnesota ready to say bye to Kurt. They just don't know who will take him.
Oh, Kellen. I think that's why they drafted Kellen Mond.
Oh, hey, remember when I said it before the season started? I was like, they took Mond because they want to move off Kurt. But at this point, I would just play Mond because they ain't winning games.
Didn't they just win their last 2 in a row?
They just beat the Panthers. I mean,
what are they? 2 and
no, they should be
3 and 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Panthers. The game before, did they beat the Lions? And then they won one other game. Was it against the Seahawks?
Well, I guess we'll let them live. We'll let them live with Kurt for a little bit longer.
Hey, Russ, man, he probably balling in Minnesota.
They can't cut him because all his money guaranteed.
Oh yeah, they can't. So they have to move him.
You are waiting until the end of his contract, which is why you take a Kellen Mond, who you can take a year or 2 to develop. Because unless you get to trade him, you are paying him. Kirk has said all my money comes up front for like the last 5 years. He said ain't nobody else do that shit but him.
I mean,
he got $84 million guaranteed, bro.
He's the GOAT when it comes to contracts. Yeah.
He said, I want all my bread on day one.
That's crazy.
Hey, you know who else was to go to that too?
Dak.
What was it? Sam Bradford?
Yeah, Sam too.
Oh, Sam Bradford.
Boy, he robbed the NFL.
He was.
That man played 3 total quarters as a quarterback in his whole career.
Boy, he robbed the league.
He got like $80 million too from the league or something.
Did
he should?
Hey, fun fact: guess who looking good after coming off an injury? Is Carson Wentz. He don't get his praise, but homeboy starting to show flashes.
That's the coaching. I think that's the coaching for him. He got back under Frank Reich, and it maybe didn't all get together in the beginning of the year. He looked like Carson Wentz holding the ball too long. Like, he sprained both ankles on one play. Like, you remember that?
I got 2 bad ankles, but they both didn't happen at the same time. So I don't know how you did that shit.
he like,
yeah, I ain't never seen nothing like that before.
he got rolled over. But you see, I think like that's just the coaching. Frank Reich is coaching some of them bad habits out of him, and he's becoming more the Carson Wentz we saw before. We don't remember that like he lost half of his like preseason camp to that foot surgery.
Yeah.
He wasn't even supposed to play game 1, possibly at one point. He was supposed to not even come in until like game 3 or 4. So he missed a lot of time. I think we are seeing the Frank Reich effect that we expected to see with Carson Wentz, and this team is kind of getting back on track.
That's true. That's true. All right, moving on to 4th and 10. I think we talked about this. I'll just go around and ask y'all. Is Diggs Defensive Player of the Year? What you think, Nick?
I mean, I almost gotta say yeah as of right now. I'll be honest. I'm not even trying to be a hater, but I feel like there's no way he can keep up this pace. If he does, I mean, by all means, he's gonna win it. But like looking at what TJ Watt's been able to do since he's been coming back, even on his own team, I honestly don't even think he's overall the best defender. Micah Parsons' game has been so overshadowed by these interceptions. I think that if he could step up and continue his style of play, basically my thing is, as of right now, yes. I just don't think his play is sustainable because we're literally talking about the greatest. This is on pace for the greatest defensive back.
Why is it not sustainable? Is it
what I just said? No, it's literally never been done.
I mean, honestly,
jump routes. I'm
gonna say it's sustainable, and the only reason I'm gonna say it's sustainable because people are going to have to throw the ball against him to beat him, which gives him opportunities for interceptions.
For me, I look at the aspect of he played receiver. His brother is Diggs, and they go at it in the offseason. If you watch them, they train with each other. So. And like Terrance alluded to, is that they're gonna have to throw the ball to keep up with Dallas. So you can't always pick on the other dude. There's gonna be times maybe he drops in a zone coverage or something where it's like, oh, he's over there, and you probably didn't even think about it. I don't know if he can do it consistently, getting a pick every game. I hope he does because I want him to do it. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
But to me, I would give him Defensive Player of the Year because TJ Watt missed what 3 games?
They might get Defensive Player of the Year and Rookie Defensive Player of the Year because Michael Parsons.
You got to look at it too. You got to look at it too from the fact of Dallas is winning games too. Like Steelers, I mean, we don't know what they're going to do.
No, you're right. No, like I said, if all goes the same, he's winning it. I just don't know if it's sustainable.
Is it the way he plays? Like,
yeah.
How many yards he gave up because he just sitting there jumping routes to get picks. Like he comes into the game trying to get a pick. Not trying to lock down.
People talk about the yards he give up. He ain't giving up like touchdowns over though, and he be clamping people. That's the thing. Like people forget he clamped Mike Evans, and so I think if you look at it, I think probably the yards given up be like zone drops or like you know what I'm saying. I don't think you just ripping that man apart, man. And if you are, somebody show me the tape because I don't think so.
Well, zone is where you feel like he can come through. Jump one and grab it. And to be fair, he grabbing them motherfuckers, and they seem perfectly comfortable letting him keep making the mistakes because it keeps paying off. And
that Mac Jones one, if I was Mac Jones, I would have beat that receiver's ass. Boy, there, bro. And the fact he took it in the end zone after he took it was worse.
Bro, listen, all I gotta say about that game is y'all, hopefully he can recover from this, but y'all, man, Nelson Aguilar, bro, if he would have caught that pass, that was a touchdown, bro.
Not even Nelson Aguilar. If Jalen Mills doesn't line up like a dummy, y'all probably live to see another day.
No, we got the ball first, which Nelson Aguilar dropped that perfect money ball. It was nobody there to tackle him once he got that ball.
But Mac Jones did throw one on 4th down, I think it was, or was it 3rd, where he just threw it out of bounds? That's one you can't throw out of bounds. You can't. So you're gonna need that throw. Nick, I got a question for you. Arizona and the Rams are both 3-0 on away games, and they're both in the same division. How does this look? They're just both of the best away teams.
I'll tell you this. One of them's undefeated, period, and the other one is not. So we're talking head to head. But what are we talking about? Just straight on the road. I mean, again, the fans didn't get to see this, so I'm going to give you credit, even though I was asked first. But Ant put it out there first. As of right now, I got to give it to Arizona. I mean, strictly because of depth. As the season goes on, as it gets colder in some of these specifically away games, as it gets into colder climates with teams that you play, defense is going to be heavy. Obviously, the stars of the Rams are where it's at, but depth that the Cardinals provide plus their offensive firepower is, I think, more. I mean, we keep talking about how great Sean McVay's play calling is, which it is, how big of upgrade that Matt Stafford has been, which he has been, and Cooper Kupp is having a breakout year. All of these things are true. But when you look at top to bottom, I'm taking Kyler Murray over Matt Stafford. I'm taking obviously the weapons that Kyler has over literally everyone on the Rams. So at this point in time, from what we've seen, it's been kind of for me, the shock team of the year is the Arizona Cardinals in any capacity.
All right. How do you feel about the undefeated, or not undefeated, undefeated, and then the undefeated on the road? How do you feel about that, Ant?
Yeah, you're right. The thing about the Rams, I'm telling you, the Rams are good. I just don't think the Rams are built for a 17-game season. Right. Yeah. And their defense has been significantly worse than we all expected. We expected it to be actually way better than it has. This last game looked great, but it was also the Giants without Saquon. So I take it with a grain of salt. And it's just like, what happens if Jalen Ramsey is down? They are playing Jalen Ramsey like he's a positionless player now, because that's how short-handed they are. Like they are really playing Jalen Ramsey positionless because they are that short-handed on defense. So I just don't. I like this Rams team if we're like one game winner take all. Who got it? Everybody's healthy. I do not like this Rams team over a long season right now.
Do you guys think that they could have got someone other than Matthew Stafford for a bargain? Because Matthew Stafford's getting paid like $28 a year or some shit. So you know what I'm saying? So their issue is that they don't have money and they're paying Cooper and Robert Woods. It's like, well, damn, bro. You got Tyler Higbee, you got Jalen, you got Aaron Donald. Like, and both the defensive players deserve to get paid.
I don't know. I like Matt. I just feel like Matt Stafford for the style of play was a perfect fit. I mean, there's obviously there's better quarterbacks, but whether or not they could have got them and whether or not it was,
maybe they could have got Jimmy G or something. I don't know. Yeah.
But again, Jimmy G is kind of, I would say, is closer to Jared Goff than what, Matt Stafford could do for the team. Not saying that Jimmy's better than Jared Goff, but what I'm saying, what McVay likes to do.
I mean, Jimmy's a smart guy though, so I feel like he would have definitely. I don't know if you would have had him on a leash. Like Jared Goff, like we're seeing now too. Even like he's in Detroit. Some of the games are competitive, but okay, Jared Goff is who we thought he was.
Yeah. Jimmy G is who we think he is, which is hurt. So that's why, that's why they go for G. Because even if he's cheaper, it becomes dead money. And I think Matt Stafford's perfect because they had to get off of Jared Goff. And that's the important thing about that Matt Stafford trade is they got off that Jared Goff contract. So Jared Goff's dead money is off the books next year. And then that's going to give them some space to try to do something. But then they got to figure out a way to possibly re-sign Matt Stafford because he only has 2 years left on that deal.
Hey, let's be honest. The Niners damn sure was not sending Jimmy G in the same division to the Rams. Yeah, so we got to get that out of there. But this is the conclusion of the 4th and 10 segment. Will the Chiefs make the playoffs? What do you think, Ant?
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to make the playoffs. The Chiefs are still a really good football team, but they are still a very terrible defense. But they have kind of always been. The problem now is that, like, Mahomes can't not turn over the ball. And, like, the team in general can't not turn over the ball. And even with that, they are 3-3. So I'm not super concerned. This team is, like, punted, like, 10 times all year long, which is by far the least in the NFL. So it's really like, we either going to score or give you the ball. But we now punting it. And if your offense is that good, basically, they can still be this ass on defense. And if Mahomes just becomes himself again, they'll be fine. If Mahomes,
he getting sacked. He getting sacked too much this year, bro. I don't.
And honestly, a lot of those picks are, and I hate to say it because Tyreek came out so hot, but like a lot of these are coming right off Tyreek's hands and straight into the defense. So it's really not like, Mahomes hasn't played as good, but it's the overall offense has been so sloppy.
And people need to not forget. People are been getting on Tyreek Hill that because he's been dropping the ball. Tyreek Hill is a top 5 wideout. Tyreek Hill is light years better than what we thought Deshaun Jackson was. Deshaun Jackson is great, but Deshaun Jackson is a one-trick pony. Tyreek Hill is definitely not a one-trick pony. You look at the routes, you look at the separation, you look at what you can do with him. Like it's
Yeah, he can do a lot. I
mean, he just missing. He's
sure.
just messing up on the concentration part, which he does that from time to time. But he's just having a real bad time at it now. They're trying to incorporate Josh Gordon. Tyrann Mathieu look like he's about to lose his mind on defense because they're playing so bad.
Sorensen, oh my god, that was my favorite. I don't even 8 pictures. Of just...
I don't even know how Sorensen got a job. I ain't gonna hold y'all.
All you see is just.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie though. I feel like Sorensen would probably be in the box if they had a better like safety put back there. Like imagine if they had Contrell Diggs from the Seattle. Sorensen probably wouldn't be in the back. He'd probably be like in the box somewhere, just floating around, making dumbass plays there.
I think we lost Ant.
I've seen very quality snaps from him. His playing time will not change, so he gonna be out there again next week.
I feel so bad because you know that defensive coordinator for the Chiefs is just like, bro, you all we got. You got it,
bro. They're struggling for sure. We got something else to stay tuned for, or not stay tuned for. Nick's gonna give us this information. We don't have the overtime segment today for you guys. We wanted to make sure this episode was actually going to work. So we didn't want to be spilling too long and then lose another episode. But Nick, who are the top 5 teams in the NFL right now?
All right. I hope y'all are ready for this. I really feel like this is not too controversial, but I know I'm going to stir some stuff up with this list. But starting in at number 5. All right. So I got the Buffalo Bills. I know this is off rip. People are going to have, something to say because they just lost the Titans. But let's face it. You're talking about one of the best running attacks ever with a one-man band. He literally put his team on his back. I think it's an anomaly as opposed to something that'll be consistent. The Bills made the Chiefs look like their little brother. Let's be honest, they've had a crazy year. They're still number 1 in defense, even with last night's performance. Number 4, I got the Bucks. Hitting on all cylinders offensively. Again, we talk a lot about what the Chiefs have looked like on defense. Their biggest question is their secondary. Can they continue to get enough pressure to cause some of the better passing offenses to fall back?
Antonio Brown, their best wideout, but keep going, Nick.
And honestly, that needs to be brought up because, first of all, even if you still feel like it's Mike Evans, whatever, but we got to talk about how Antonio Brown has had a complete, we talk about AJ Green's revitalization. Antonio Brown looks like it's 2015.
Antonio Brown never looked bad at the game of football. Ever.
It was just his attitude. No.
It was his off-field issues.
Yeah, it was his attitude.
On the field, he has been that nigga on the field.
Yeah,
he freezer burnt his feet. Didn't play any preseason. Showed up to New England and caught a touchdown pass his first game with Tom Brady.
Bro, people don't talk about how good that game was. That game in New England was amazing.
Anytime he's on the field, he is that. He is it. He is it.
So we got the Bucks.
Yeah,
so we got the Bucks in at number 4. And then number 3, I got the Rams. Because again, top to bottom, I think their offense. The craziest part about the Rams has been, we talked about their defense, and even though we've talked about how thin the defense is, they are not thin on offense. Yes, running back is questionable, but they got unlimited outside weapons. The Matt Stafford project has been 10 out of 10 so far. Sean McVay looks like a kid in a candy store. Hold up. No, I'm just kidding. What's up?
It ain't been 10 out of 10. It's been like
10 out of 10.
It's been wait. The only reason I'm saying it's 9 out of 10 because if this man starts hitting Deshaun Jackson, this offense looks scary.
The reason why I say 10 out of 10 is because you got exactly what you wanted and an improvement for the best thing that you could get. No one was expecting. He's not Aaron Rodgers out there dropping dimes all over the field, but I mean, for what you get with Matt Stafford, stop. But what you get from Matt Stafford has been perfect to me. The number 2 who I have is the Ravens, who seems like they can put the towel boy in and he's going to show up to play. Talking about depth, I mean, clearly the Ravens got it because it doesn't matter who comes in. I mean, one of the craziest ones to think about is that Latavius Murray and Le'Veon Bell are now probably all 2 big hitters at running back. And we're sitting here saying that's garbage. But if you really think about it, these dudes got a little bit left in the tank. Both scored this weekend.
A lot bit left the whole time.
That's what I'm saying.
Latavius Murray was just a Pro Bowler a couple years ago. Obviously, we know.
Don't forget Devontae Freeman scored too. Your boy from Atlanta.
Hey, and Seminoles.
Pro
Bowler. But yeah, so I mean, they've got 3 former Pro Bowl running backs. So I mean, At a certain point, all these dudes were top 5. So the Ravens got unlimited depth, and then it goes without saying, every week is like the what box can Lamar Jackson check off the haters list, because it's like at this point I can't wait for the playoffs. And if my Falcons, which is looking like we're not gonna make the playoffs, I'm gonna be right there riding the wagon with Keys on the Ravens bandwagon, because I can't wait to see him continue.
How many games y'all gonna win?
Hey, we got 11 games.
Hey, the bet is 12, and it's looking rough.
No, the bet was 11. The bet was always 11. I said they get 11 wins.
Okay, whatever.
Anyway,
11 though. So why does it matter?
Huh?
Y'all ain't gonna get close to 11. So why does it?
We got 2 wins and we got 11 games left. It's all good. Anyway, so
83.
And then number one, I got the Cardinals. Obviously, they play better than anybody else this season. Again, they've been the biggest surprise. My dark horse team was the Chargers, who's also looking really good. But I think the biggest dark horse, without question, has been the Cardinals. We were arguing they're probably going to come in last in their division, and they're like dog walking their own division. So it's like, it's been kind of scary. Kyler Murray has taken a big leap. I don't think that he's not there with the Josh Allens, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson's, obviously, but he's close, getting closer to that conversation as this year goes along. Plus, the defense looks revitalized. Chandler Jones didn't even want to be there, and now he's having an animalistic season. So it's like, Budda Baker's balling out. The receivers are doing their thing. Top to bottom, they look great. Great. Shout out to you.
And you got any holes in this top 5? You keeping it?
This is almost exactly my top 5, but I flipped the Bucks and the Bills.
Okay, so Ant likes it.
I honestly, I couldn't even argue with that.
Terrance, you like it? You buying it?
Yeah, I can get along with this. Bucks, Bills. You can definitely flip flop them potentially. Maybe I flip the Bills and the Bucks based off of the simple facts of the Bucks secondary. So yeah, I can agree with.
I got it. I agree with it because I got Dallas at 6. None of their wins are impressive except for their Chargers. I know I'm being honest. Like
I agree.
If they would have beat the Bucks and beat the Chargers, then we'd be talking about some whole different shit going on. Because I got then it'd be like, okay, Dak can slay all these dragons, because Lamar has to slay every dragon to just even get
any praise.
Yeah, so. We done looked at it. He done slain fucking Mahomes. Him and the defense have slain Mahomes. They've slain Herbert. Who else? Derek Carr is getting this awkward recognition for some reason. I don't understand it. Huh?
Well, I mean, he always puts up good numbers every
year. Derek Carr is just Kirk Cousins at this point. I promise you.
The reason why I want to give Derek Carr some love this year is the instability and drama that he's also having to deal with.
He won't the drama. He sad Gruden left. That's his bang.
No. I'm just saying. I feel like he's trying to save face at that point. If that man really believes that, come on now. But no. I mean, the fact that he's putting up numbers, he's had a pretty good year.
Yeah, I like it. Them Dallas fans about to come for you on Twitter. I can't wait. And
for me, you're the one that said they didn't have it. You see how he threw me under the bus? Oh, you ain't slick. You ain't slick.
At least I let Dallas know I had him at 6. You didn't even say nothing about him.
So what do you think better? What do you think they'd be more mad about? Getting left off, or you being like, yeah, they're 6 because none of their wins matter.
And let the people know where they can find you at one last time. Shout out anything you want to shout out.
Oh, what's good, y'all? Y'all can catch me at the Fly Route Pod on all social media platforms. It's one word. Episodes come out every Friday. Clips on the YouTube nearly daily. If you put in the Fly Route Podcast, you find me everywhere.
Boom.
Yep. There we go.
Visual plug.
Visual plug. Yeah, so we appreciate you stopping by. Y'all ain't got to hear no more words of the day, me botching words and not know how to pronounce shit. Sorry y'all had to deal with that season 1. This is season 2. I forgot to let y'all know that because season 2, the original episode, was last week. So I felt like I didn't have to announce it. But hey, this is season 2. I hope you guys enjoy what we put out so far. We're only going to get better. We're going to have new graphics coming out for y'all. Maybe we'll have new displays in the back. Stay tuned. Check us out. Tell a friend. Let them know they can holler at us. You can find us on Twitter. I already discussed where to find us at. And Yeah, that's it. I'll let y'all later.
Hey, shouts out to Keys. Dougie McDermott is the coach for the Bills. Dougie Buckets.
That boy playing in China somewhere. Later.